Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Grief Talk. Thank you so much for being here. If you happen to join the first time around, I do apologize for the technical difficulties that was experienced. My computer just completely shut down and I had to restart this all over again. So if you were here, please forgive me. I've got to go through this all over again. So you can click off for a couple of seconds because I'm going to give the same announcements, but you're still going to get this good information. Today's topic we're talking about are people respecting your boundaries and shift your focus. All right. So one big announcement that I wanted to share, I am not joined by myself. I am here live in my group with Grieving Christians on Facebook. And on yesterday, we marked 500 members in the group. And I am completely grateful and thankful for each and every member who has tapped into this space to say that I am grieving and I'm struggling in my faith, but I know that God is a source. And so I want to connect with other believers. And that's exactly what Grieving Christians is all about. It is a safe space where you can confidently and comfortably say, I'm praying for you. You can share scriptures or share worship songs, with others who are experiencing this with you. And so the model of the group is prayer and practical resources. I do believe that while God is a source, that we also can use practical resources in order to help through the grief journey. And so tomorrow is our monthly pop-up workshop. So every month we do one workshop on a particular topic that the members vote on. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how to honor and celebrate your loved one's memories. What are some different ways that you can honor them even though they're no longer here? And so if you are not a member of the group, then you can click the link in my Instagram bio or go to my website, KenishaNichelle.com, and click the header in order to come on over and join. That is a free workshop and a resource that is for our members. Okay. So getting into today's topic, are people respecting your boundaries and shift your focus? So are people respecting your boundaries? Boundaries is the number one thing that I believe that needs to be a part of your everyday journey getting through this grief season. I am not sure how you particularly operate and move and handle people, but, I was one who doesn't like to say no, right? I don't want to let people down. I don't want people to be like, well, why can't she help me? Or why can't she do this? So we always kind of overextend ourselves in doing things for others. But when we're in this grief season, this is not the time that we have to be overly focused on others. You have got to be overly focused on yourself, right? This is the time when your needs matter, when your well-being matters, and you cannot let other people put demands and pressures on you that you don't need in this moment. Okay. So if people are asking you to do things, or why aren't you over this yet? Or, why are you still crying? Like all those kind of things, that is disrupting your boundary space, in my opinion. And so this is when you have to be aggressive and you have to let people know exactly where you stand. No, I don't want to, participate in this family Zoom. No, I don't think it's helpful for me to attend this, workshop as a reminder of my loved one. And so I want to give you 5 things that I believe that you need to think about as you begin to start making boundaries, if you have not started setting them in your life already. So number 1 is to be aware of your own needs. You know what you need, right? You know if it's a time where you need to take a rest, if you need to shut things down and say, hey, look, I'm not in the position to do X, Y, and Z. You have to be aware of your body, your feeling, your emotions. And so I want you to know that this is the time, again, where you are your number 1 priority. You are the one who has to advocate for yourself. We cannot allow other people to be the ones who are telling you, this is what you need to be doing. You should be able to speak up and say, you know what, I need this for myself. So number 1 is being aware of your own needs. Number 2 is to recognize which people and situations drain your energy or trigger negative emotions. And so I want to put a pin on this one because this one is huge. Simply because, there's going to be people who have been some time now, but this scenario just still resonates with me as it relates to boundaries. So I had a client whose father passed away, and, her mother obviously lost her husband. And so the mom is telling the daughter, like, I need you to stay the night with me. I need you to be here. You've got to be with me every single day. I don't want to live in this house by myself without your father. And so she came to me as a client and was saying, what do I do? Because, I love my mom and I want to support my mom and be there for her. But me staying at the house is it's draining and it's too much. And I would rather go back to my own place and, breathe a little bit. And I told her, I said, you guys are on two separate journeys. You have your journey as losing your father and she has hers as losing her husband. You guys are not on the same journey through this grief season, even though, you both lost the same person in a sense, right? And so I told her, while you love your mother and you want to be there for her and make sure that, she has the support that she needs, you have to take care of yourself too. And so if this means calling up her siblings, to come and stay, or calling up if she's got a best girlfriend that can come and stay, that's what you have to do. You have to, again, put yourself in a space where you're taking care of you. If you don't allow those boundaries to be in place, then what you're essentially saying to people is that they can treat you however they want because you're not going to do anything about it. And that's just the reality of it. When we put those hard stops on people and we say, hey, look, I can't do this, or I don't have the capacity to do this right now, they have no other choice to respect that because they can't force you to do something you don't want to do. And so you have to have an understanding that certain people or certain situations may bring about a trigger for you. And that's when you have to say, I can't do that, right? There's certain places that I know I don't go to anymore because it's a trigger reminder, right? It's a boundary. I say to my daughter all the time, she's 8 years old and, she's roughhousing and playing. And I say, listen, I don't do hospitals. Now, of course, if something ever really happened, I would go. But just for me, the association of hospitals is a trigger. And so if I don't have to go, like, I won't go. Like, it's got to be somebody real close to me that is fallen ill before I actually make the decision to go to a hospital, because just being in there just brings back all kind of memories of my parents. And so I say that to you because it's inevitable that you have to have boundaries for yourself while you're going through this season. And again, this is just you taking care of yourself and making sure that you are aware of your needs. Okay. Number 3, it's okay to say no without apology. You can say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. I don't have the capacity to do that. And let that be the end of it. No is a complete sentence, period. No. I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that. Well, why are you not able to do that? Because I just don't want to. It can be as simple as that. And of course, it may sound harsh coming out of the mouth. It may sound harsh to the recipient who is hearing, you tell them no. But again, in the back of your mind, you have to remember that while you're going through this grief season, that you are your number one priority. And if there's something that somebody is asking you to do, and it's going to take more energy out of you that you don't already have, then it's a no, period, point blank, period. Number 4, understand that boundaries are for your protection and not to punish others. Okay. So this is not you saying, I don't like you, I don't want to deal with you. Boundaries are not doing that. Boundaries, again, is just understanding that you got to put a barrier between your energy and how you choose to spend your time doing things. You may have just had a legitimate grief trigger. You may have just heard a song that reminded you of your loved one, and it took you into a place of sadness and tears. And then here comes somebody asking you, hey, do you mind doing this for me? I'm not able to pick up my children today. Can you pick them up for me? And you just had this, grief trigger moment. All of that comes together when you're setting boundaries. And so you want to make sure that you're doing this, again, in a loving space, but it's a love for yourself. And then that goes into the number 5, which is the last one. Approach this with love and respect for yourself. Again, you are your number one priority, especially if this has been within the first year. If you have not gone through all of the first year of having lost your loved one, This is more crucial than ever that you have those respectable boundaries in place between yourself and others so that you're able to get through. The first year has so many unknowns. You don't really know how to navigate your emotions, for one, from day to day, but then also when those grief triggers come up, if it's a holiday, a birthday, anniversary, things that start to come up in your life, you don't really know how to navigate those feelings. So you've got trying to navigate life without them, right? Then you have the grief triggers, the ones that we know and the ones that we don't. And then you've got the demands of other people. Well, if there's something that we can cut out on this, we're going to cut out the demands from other people because we can control that. And so again, just want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And one of the biggest tools that I believe that you have to have while going through this season is setting healthy boundaries. All right. So that wraps up the first point. The second point is to shift your focus. So you probably heard this before, but where your focus goes, your energy flows. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so where we put our thoughts, where we put our energy, that's what we're going to continue to see in our life. If we're only thinking negative, if we're only harping on the bad, if we're only looking at the downside of everything, that's what's going to continue to show up in your life. If you are able to shift your focus to things that are positive, even when we have those negative moments, I can't say that they won't happen, right? Especially while we're going through grief, we have those moments of why me? Why did this have to happen? Why did this have to happen to them? But if you can shift your mind and say, you know what? I don't know why, but I serve a God who says that he will give me peace that surpasses all understanding, that no weapon formed against me shall be able to prosper. Even though this is a weapon, even though this depression that I'm feeling, this sadness that I'm feeling, all of these can be a weapon as a result of grief, and they may have formed, I'm feeling those feelings, but they don't have to prosper. They don't have to take root in my life and be that thing that kind of just keeps me stuck where I am. And so again, shifting your focus, remembering that, even though I'm in this space right now, and this can be outside of grief, this can be just everyday life journey. I'm in this situation. I don't like my job right now. My finances are not where they want to be. I'm trying to get out of debt. I have this goal of purchasing a home, but I'm still stuck. These are other things that can be happening in your life. But if you continue to focus on the negative of it, if you continue to just harp day in and day out, every time you talk to somebody, it's always the negative sides of things, instead of shifting your focus and shifting that mindset, then that's what we're going to continue to get. So again, shifting your focus, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So again, even as it relates to grief and to everyday life, we want to begin to, even though those negative thoughts may come, the why did this happen to happen, the woe is me, all of these things, even though that did show up and it was a bad situation and we don't like it, it doesn't have to remain. We can begin to train our minds to shift and to believe that where we are right now, we don't have to stay. And that first comes with changing our mindset. All right. So that is the 2 for Tuesday grief talk that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me and getting through the technical difficulties of today's show. If you missed out on the announcements, if you came in late, I talked about Grieving Christians Facebook group. We have reached 500 members, and I'm so grateful and thankful for every single member that is a part of this group. But a part of the group is that we do free pop-up workshops every month. And so tomorrow is that workshop that will be live in the group. We're going to be talking about ways to honor and celebrate the memory of a loved one. So if you are not a part of the Facebook group, please go to my Instagram page and click the link in my bio, or you can go to my website at KenishaNichelle.com, click the header and join us there. All righty. Thank you so much for joining me for another talk. I will see you, God willing, here next week. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.